Welcome back to another video. It's me, Cam from Cam's Cobb, and welcome back to another daily Chelsea transfer news video. And today we're talking about RAFEAL, Leao, Anthony Gordon, Aubameyang, FOFANA, Frankie de Jong, all things Chelsea. So without further ado, if you're new, I'm Cam from Cam's Cobb, and I do daily Chelsea transfer news videos. I did a podcast last night. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to hear more about transfer news and all things Chelsea, like 30 minutes worth. Watch that. That'd be great. Anyway, 80% of you who watch my videos are subscribed, so if we get that down, that'd be great. Without further ado, let's get on the first video. I'm going to start with our newfound interest in AC Milan youngster RAFEAL Leao. Now, of course, RAFEAL Leao won Serie A's MVP last season. He's a striker for Milan, and you know, if there's one thing Chelsea need, that's a clinical striker. Of course, we're in the market for Aubameyang, but I'll be talking about that later. But let's just delve into the Leao news first. So, of course, starting with Fabrizio Romano, who has said Chelsea have had interest in RAFEAL Leao for over a year, but it's not an advanced negotiation. Milan have always declared Leao as a key part of the project. There are also a €150 million release clause. This is very interesting because, of course, Milan won the Scudetto last year with Tomori as well. Of course, they value the league's most valuable player, but it's nothing a bit of Wonga can't do. Of course, there were reports like last week that both Nkunku and Leao were in our plans next year after we signed Aubameyang this year, but it seems like Todd Bowley's getting the cash out again. He's getting the checkbook out and he's really interested in signing him. So I'm going to go to another story which says Chelsea have been encouraged towards a second set of discussions on a deal for Leao. Leao, who was named Serie A's most valuable player last season's contribution to Milan's first Scudetto in 11 years, is thought to be keen on the switch to the Premier League. Now, of course, in my last video I was talking about how important it is for a player to be keen on the move. It kind of forced FOFANA from Brendan Rodgers saying he's not for sale to pretty much, I'm pretty sure he's going to be joining. So keep up to date with this story. I'm very excited about Leao because, of course, at the start of the window he's one of my favourite players. I would have hoped Chelsea were in for, but I mean, if this is true, we can't say no. Future world-class player. Anyway, on to the next story. So from one attacker to another attacker, we're going to go from a Portuguese striker to an English winger, and that is in Anthony Gordon. No, Chelsea fans, the links have definitely not gone away. It's here to stay. And the news coming out today is that £60 million is the price tag for Anthony Gordon, 50 plus 10. I'll be delving into the stories now. Chelsea are confident in stealing a deal for Everton's Anthony Gordon this week. Chelsea are also working on a deal to sign forward RAFEAL Leao from AC Milan, as I just said. Yeah, the Times have said that. I'm going to go to Telefootball have also said Chelsea have made a proposal of 50 million plus 10 million in add-ons for Anthony Gordon, which they are hoping Everton will accept. I ran through the events as I saw it last time. We just conceded a last-minute equaliser to Tottenham. I checked Twitter just to see the outbreak, the fallout, and then boom, Fabrizio bomb, Anthony Gordon links. What do I think about the player? 4 goals in the Prem last season for 60 million. Doesn't really seem like a fair deal, whilst we have Kenan Masodoi on the bench, who I think is a better player. The only saving grace for this deal is that Everton value him at 60 million. Whether he's worth 60 million is a very completely different story, but they see him week in, week out. They see how he trains. Frank Lampard obviously puts a high price tag on him because that's how much they have valued to Everton. Going on to FOFANA, I'm going to go to Fabrizio Romano, who kind of talks about all our defenders in this deal. Chelsea are in contact with FOFANA deal intermediaries, but are also working on outgoings. Inter are trying to sign Trevor Chalobah on loan up to the clubs. Serie A's side Spezia have asked for Ethan Ampadu on loan. Emerson Palmieri to West Ham. Here we go since yesterday. So that's some good news. We're lining up 3 outgoings for 1 centre-back. Of course, with the financial fair play, we had to balance the books, or Todd Bowley would have been sanctioned with an inch of his life. Of course, I did a video more in depth of FOFANA yesterday, but it's going to be a world record fee. We're trying to get it below the Maguire fee, so he has less pressure. We did that with Kai Havertz and players like that. Yeah, there's no hiding the fact it's very expensive. It may be a panic buy, but there's not any better centre-backs on the market, young centre-backs who have Premier League proven. So I'm going to say I like the deal. Of course, I would like it to be a bit less, but what are you going to do? Todd Bowley's going to spend the money anyway. There's nothing a Chelsea fan can do, and bolster the centre-back pairing, which we needed when we shipped 3 goals against Leeds. On to the next story. And quickly, just going to do an Aubameyang update from Fabrizio. Important hours ahead for Aubameyang Depay deals. Barca want €30 million for Aubameyang. Talks in progress with Chelsea. Personal terms agreed. Then he goes on to about Depay. But focusing on Aubameyang, last night a lot of talk about personal terms being agreed. The deal was almost done. Deal done. Of course, the deal, £18.6 million plus 4 million add-ons, so around £22 million to Depay. Barcelona got closer to what they want than we wanted. Classic Barca, there's nothing you can do about that. Speaking of Barca, I'm just going to talk about Frenkie de Jong for a bit. The renewed rumours about an interest from Bayern in Frenkie de Jong this summer are not true. And this was from Christian Falk from Bild. That was very important because I was speculating yesterday that with Bayern also having De Ligt, very attracting for de Jong to rejoin his Ajax teammate. But apparently it's not true, so it's just us and Manchester United. And realistically, it's just us because Man United just dropped €100 million on Casemiro and Antony later, and yeah, they're in the Europa League, so Frankie only wants UCL. Anyway, that is the story for today. Of course, I do daily transfer news videos, so stay up to date as things progress. But without further ado, I'll see you tomorrow for more Chelsea transfer news. Hopefully, a summer signing is happening.